Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen with a 3.10.0 roadmap update. That's the next major patch that's coming, hopefully at the end of June. There's a load of new features that have been added here. We also have the Origin 100 Starship series turning up for Alpha 3.11.0 and a few other tidbits of news. We have some pretty big near-term roadmap updates here. We saw what I would deem a minor feature slip with the surrender mechanics moving off 3.10. Tasks for that feature require some more work from the AI team, and as other work that the AI team has been doing has taken longer than expected, they're not going to be able to get the work done to the mechanic before the 3.10 cutoff, so they've moved it down to the 3.11, the next major patch. There's a whole host of new features listed for 3.10.0 now though. The long touted addition of the NPC bartender has reappeared, improvements to the bartender AI archetype, including additional interactions for the player as well as other NPCs. This will include passes for animation and audio, but once completed, the bartender is supposed to represent the gold standard for social AI. He'll be able to interact with players and other NPCs, serve them drinks, and feel like they're actually operating a bar there, and it just sort of like adds to the flavour of an area. Obviously very important for the way that Star Citizen presents itself. I'm hoping that they don't T-pose, spinning on like the stools at the bars, and that would not be great. More features too, we've got the turret and gunnery improvements, so new controls and functional UIs for turrets as well. So fixed weapons on ships and turrets will get more computer assist, which will make them more viable choices apparently, especially for multi-crew use. Additionally, tweaks to pip calculation, so they've trying to improve stability for hitting targets in all aiming modes have been made here. I would expect some ESP changes because of that. Turrets being more fun for gunners is a very good thing. This feature is obviously trying to balance and address issues with fixed weapons, that sort of stuff, and if it can do that, if it can make the ship combat feel a lot better, absolutely great. Conversely, I'm a little worried because those changes could be absolutely terrible. So we sort of like need to see it first when it's in our hands. Hopefully it will be able to be something that gets into a good state very quickly for that 3.10.0 live patch. Electron damage for the new Lightning Bolt Co. pistol and snipper. So Electron is comprised of energy distortion and stun damage, this new type of damage, and targets hit by an electron projectile will retain a charge for a brief time, and then if hit again, will discharge damage in an area, like a little pulse. Poof! This damage type will be used for other weapons in the future as well, like bounty hunters, in a more less lethal way, so they can sort of like the electron damage for the pistol and sniper rifle there being a lot more towards the energy end of the spectrum, whereas they'd have more of a stun end of the spectrum if they wanted a less lethal version. The Law System version 2 impounding improvements have been put in here as well. Impoundment has been developed so that infractions can have different fines and durations, allowing light penalties for blocking pads versus harsher penalties for pad ramming. Players lingering over landing areas without permission will now see a countdown timer warning them of imminent impoundment should they not withdraw. This is combined with the new landing and restricted area changes that helps sort of like players be guided through a landing window at major landing zones like Lawville and Area 18 to get to their landing pad or landing area. Now, I like the sort of stuff they're trying to do to prevent pad ramming, and adding all these laws sort of makes sense. What I'd actually like to see, and this is a bit of an I reckon moment, is if your ship is left derelict for a long period of time or a while near an area that has sort of like security forces or whatever, that they potentially impound the ship and have it at sort of like Port Olisar or the nearest sort of space station with all its sort of items in it. So if, for example, you crashed out while you were in your cargo ship, that it gets impounded, they take it in, you have to pay a fee to get it unimpounded or whatever, but you've got all your cargo there. How good would that be? And you'd have it so it takes it to the nearest one, the nearest station, and maybe it doesn't always do it, but it takes it to like the nearest station or nearest area. So you can't use it just to teleport around the verse. You can't use it to teleport to the location you want to go to, so you wouldn't be able to use it to go to Port Olisar or Hurston or something. If you had just grabbed a load of materials from another planet, it would just take you back to the planet you just were at. But I like the idea of that, and I think that's a way to have the sort of like ship persistence in the short term. But again, that was a much more of a I reckon moment there, and a bit of a rant. The Kruger Intergalactic P-72 Archimedes Emerald that was supposed to be in 3.9.1 has actually turned up in the 3.10 as well. As far as I'm aware, it's just a skin for the P-72 though. There are various other features that have been completed and are moving into polishing as well for 3.10, that being the M50 update for that little racer ship, the restricted area rework, which at the moment we've only seen the sort of like being guided towards planets, sort of landing improvements rather than the restricted area improvements, I suppose. That P-72 Archimedes Emerald is already in polishing. Thruster efficiency curves and aerodynamics are in polishing as well, which is great. That's going to see very different changes to the flight model with 3.10, especially on planets and in atmosphere. High-speed combat changes as well have been moved into polishing. I'm really looking forward to seeing those flight model and combat changes. Hopefully they put the game into a better place than a worse one. Also, something coming to 3.10.0 is the factory line shop on New Babbage. That's going to be opening. We saw a little sneak peek of the Moby Glass 2 on display there. Whether or not that's going to be a purchasable, equipable item in 3.10, maybe have a different UI, maybe just look like a different model on your arm, that remains to be seen yet. In the future, I suspect we'll have lots and lots of Moby Glass customization though. We do know that a high-tech crypto key, SIM pod, and hologram doohickey will be at the store at some point too, probably in 3.10. Hopefully we won't see other features slipping from 3.10.0 and just a few more maybe added. That would be good. The Origin 100 series of luxury starter ships is now on the roadmap for the 3.11 end of Q3 patch, which puts it at the end of September. This includes the 100i, which is the touring or base model, the 125A light fighter, and the 135C light cargo model. I think this is probably the ship series they mentioned that they were working on the monthly report. They said they were working on a new ship series. I suspect that's literally what they meant though. I find these sort of starter ships interesting because it's something I'm not interested in really, to actually own myself, but I suppose more choice for players that are starting the game and more choice for ships that are potentially a cheaper option for different tasks might be good. We'll have to see how good they are once they're in our hands though. Interestingly as well, there are 2 other ships and a vehicle that Cloud Imperium had mentioned that they were working on in the monthly report. The vehicle is likely to be the Grey Cat mining vehicle that Star Citizen Leaks are going to be releasing a video on later today, and was what we expect the mining buggy that they were talking about at CitizenCon 2019. But as I said, we'll have to wait and see with all of that. That's really it for the roadmap stuff. Fleet Week is over, and it was the most profitable month that Star Citizen has ever seen, I think, with over 15 million being made in May for the company. However, apparently, lots of exciting events are coming up, so maybe we'll see lots of other opportunities for Cloud Imperium and Star Citizen to make a boat ton of cash. I actually quite like in-game events and interesting things happening in the game because that gets more people playing and there's cool stuff to do. The Idrises during Fleet Week and the Javelin and engaging them and having a look around them, that was actually pretty cool for the game. And if they can do that semi-regularly with little cool events, fantastic. There was an AMA, and Ask Me Anything, talking about Theatres of War. I'll link my video going over that down below, but there's going to be some Theatres of War playtests going on this weekend for the Eva Carti. Hopefully that will leave Theatres of War in a pretty good state after they sort of work on that feedback, and maybe later this month or next month you might see Theatres of War open up to more players than just Eva Carti, but that's going to be based on the feedback and what happens in those playtests. On Star Citizen Live, we saw Sarah McCullough, who's been involved with loads of the concept work on like the Mercury Star Runner and the Hercules and lots of other cool ships, the Ranger and things like that. She made a concept for a Big Benny's delivery ship and secret prisoner pod ship, it sort of turned out to be. It was very much a chatting and fluff episode, but was good to hear from a very talented ship and vehicle artist. And that's sort of it for this week. I'm interested to know what you think of the 100 series. Do you think they're not needed in the game because there's too many other starter choices? Do you think they do increase choice and therefore are good for the game and good for players that potentially want to buy, but they don't want any of the other starter ships? I don't see their purpose personally, but I'm interested to know if other people do see a purpose in that. What about new features for 3.10? Are you disappointed with the surrender mechanics moving off, but Are you happy to see the potential improvements to combat and turrets? Do you think we'll see some changes in customization to the mobiGlas in 3.10 as well? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For June, it's for an Aspira Tavaran Prowler dropship and Star Citizen game package, kindly supplied by Cloud Imperium. Just comment on any of my videos made during June to be in for a chance of winning that. Oh, what's that? What am I shilling for? This month, you ask? Well, the same thing I shill for every month. If you need a VPN, then check out NordVPN. It's a cheap, fast, and has a load of benefits over free VPN services. Consider it for security, privacy, protection, content accessibility, and even to help with bandwidth limits. You also get a shipload of money off via the links below. I am BoredGamer. I was going to go with BoredVPN, but that didn't sound right. BoredGamer sounds perfect for my shillingness. Also, if you're looking for a gaming PC or a gaming PC upgrade, instead consider Shadow. It's a subscription-based service that starts around $11 or £12 or some euros, and that streams a Windows 10 system to your device, be it another PC, laptop, phone, or TV, using the powers of the internet, and there's a wide range of hardware to meet your needs. It means you don't have to maintain your own rig, so if you dream of 4K gaming and you don't want to break the bank, it's an option. All their services are very suitable for Star Citizen, but there may be a waiting list based on what country and state you are in.